What's up everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette C8 Coupe. This is a 2LT with the Z51 package. Huge shout out to Randy Marion Chevrolet for providing the supercar for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This C8 is finished off in torch red. They have a starting MSRP right around $75,000. And this mid-engine Corvette is powered by a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. It's paired to the 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission with the Z51 and performance package. That bumps it up to 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,300 pound supercar from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It has a top speed of 194 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18.5 gallons. You'll expect to see around 19 miles per gallon in the city, 27 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 107.2 inches. Its overall length is 182.3. It has a width of 76.1 and a height of 48.6 inches. And so before we move on to the exterior styling for the C8, let's talk real quick about the Z51 package and what that adds to your C8. Now that Z51 package is around $5,000 and it also allows you to add some extra goodies depending on what you would like. Now if you do a lot of track driving, mountain driving, any type of spirited performance driving, the Z51 package is definitely worth it because it adds a lot of mechanical upgrades as well as aerodynamics, cooling. It upgrades the tires and the brakes as well. And then it even gets an upgraded final drive from a 489 to a 517, as well as an electronic limited slip differential, and you get a performance traction management system for the different driving modes. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, you get a little bit more power. When you upgrade to the performance exhaust, it adds 5 more horsepower and 5 more pound-feet of torque, which isn't all that significant, but it definitely makes it sound a lot nicer. So with that out of the way, let's go over the exterior styling now, where we'll start up front. Check out the LED headlight, DRL, and turn signal design. The headlights are very, very slim, and they're also almost horizontal on the front corner. They're integrated very nicely and give it a fantastic look. Now there's also Corvette right in the middle of the gloss black accents. There's a camera on both sides of that too, and then plenty of cutouts to provide additional cooling to all of the components that are located up front. For the 24-year model, this also gets forward collision as well. And then there's the lower spoiler running across the entire bottom. Corvette badge is right in the middle. There's also really nice lines that come down the front of it as well. So it gives it that iconic Corvette look as well. And then let's work our way to the storage space up front. Because this is a mid-engine vehicle, you get that front storage. Now you can use the button on the key fob. There's also a hidden button. So just hold on that and that will electronically release, where you have quite a bit of space. Like any other mid-engine vehicle, you have some room to place some smaller items, any bags that you want to place up front. And also new for the 24-year model, this does have the soft close for the front, and you don't have to use that, but it is nice in case you don't close it all of the way. But let's work our way to the side now, where we have a really nice set of gloss black wheels with the upgraded Z51 brakes finished off in red. This also has the two-tone for the side mirrors with the integrated turn signal. One thing that you will notice too, it's going to be a little bit hard to convey, but the driver's side mirror is actually shorter in length than the passenger side. Chevrolet did this in order to improve visibility on that passenger side. So hopefully you can tell that gap right there, and it is much larger over on this side here. So just to help get visibility around the back corners. Very interesting to note. There's also the gloss black on the back of the door handle there, and then we have the side skirt in the lower section. And being the coupe, it has a nice design to it. It's also a convertible too, which I will show here in just a little bit. But we have some great lines that run down the side. Very different, of course, from the C7. Being a mid-engine now, we have a lot different lines. We even have a really large rear fender with this line that goes all the way to the back. And then with the Z51 package, it does come with a smaller spoiler. However, you can upgrade to this 4 pedestal spoiler that is very, very large. I'm not sure exactly how much this costs. I believe it's around $1,500, $2,000 to upgrade to that, but I think it has a pretty cool look to it. There's the third brake light just underneath that with Corvette spelled out. We have the dark housings for those LED taillights. There's a backup camera with all the parking sensors. Heat extraction vents are located on both sides, and then there's more gloss black in that lower diffuser, along with a little bit of gray with the metal flake in it, which is nice to see. And this does have remote start. So if we lock the vehicle and double tap this, let's bring this V8 to life. And if you just hold on that, that is how you can shut it off if needed. We have unlock, of course. You can use the key fob to open up the front, like I mentioned earlier. You can use the key fob to open up the rear, or just push on the button to the right of the backup camera and that will release. Now, if you don't choose to get the spoiler, it is a little bit easier, of course, to gain access to this lip. So you just have to watch your fingers there in between that gap in order to open it up. Now, not only can we take a look at that engine, but we have the storage space in the back. Chevrolet claims that you can fit 2 golf bags in the back, which we have actually done in the past. We have had some press cars with the C8, so we were able to test that out, and it actually works. It just takes up a lot of your space. But being a mid-engine vehicle, I am very impressed that you not only have that space, but you have space up front. Hardly any mid-engine vehicles have storage behind the engine, so that's impressive to see. And then to show you the soft close, since I didn't show that up front, just get it to barely close there and it will take it the rest of the way. And now let's work our way to the interior, where the electronic button is up underneath this trim accent, so you don't actually see that handle, which I think is great to have that incorporated. And then for this door panel, there's leather with all the stitching, brushed aluminum. This has Bose audio. There's also memory seating controls. We have the side mirror adjustments, which are power folding. And then there's your electronic release, lock and unlock, and you can release the front and rear storage. And then there's even more storage just behind that. Stingray is down on the door sill. And we have the very nice bucket seats with carbon fiber, the red seat belts. They are automatic, so all those controls are nicely laid out. And then as we work our way to the interior, down by my feet, these are the manual releases. So if that electronic button fails, if the battery dies, that is how you can open up the door. So you don't have to worry about that button ever not working. Now, this steering wheel is completely covered in Alcantara, black stripe right in the middle. On this left side, there's cruise control settings as well as favorites. There's also a Z button. I will show that later. Volume is on the right side. There's Bluetooth voice commands, heated steering wheel. We have massive paddle shifters, and then some controls to go through the digital gauge cluster. So let's fire this back up and take a listen to how the C8 sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, currently there's time and temperature on the left side, right side is showing audio, and then the tach is right in the middle. Now if I use the buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, we can scroll over to performance, where you can go through a lot of performance oriented features. 0 to 60, you have your lap timer, as well as your G-force meter, and then you can also go into a lot of your standard information. So if you like to scroll through all of that, you can, and then we can go back and we can go into audio. There's maintenance that you can look at, different options that you can also go into, and then the last one is simplify. So if you go into that, you can eliminate the info over on that left side, just push any button and you can bring that back to life. Now if we go into the display design, we are currently in touring. If we go into sport, that changes the entire gauge cluster there. And then there's also track, which I think is one of my favorite. You have the tach running across the top, and then the important vitals on that left side, and then what gear you're in is front and center. You can also go into weather, which will change it one more time. You have your speed warning too, tire pressure, head-up display that you can also monitor, and that will change with the driving modes too. So currently it's just showing tach, your gear, and miles per hour. So it's pretty configurable to show you all of that needed info. Now on the left side, you have all the head-up display controls along with a trim accent just below one air vent. You can pull up what gear you're in. It actually shows all of them along with a G-force meter. You can go back to just the tach miles per hour in your gear, and then you can change it one more time. So really cool to have that. Now there's kind of a little bit of space up top here. You maybe could use that for storage, not really though. And then we have a pretty large dash for this. Now as we work our way to the driver-focused infotainment system, it is angled towards the driver. So from the passenger side, might be a little bit hard to see. But if we push on home, we have all these icons just like you would expect to see in any other Chevrolet. There's navigation, settings, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you have a few other items to go into, even PDR, which is the performance data recorder. You do need an SD card in order to use that, of course. And then underneath that, there's some shortcuts where you can quickly get into all this information and use that as needed. So it's a really nice system to use. There's one air vent underneath that. And then below, we have the shortcut to pull up the front camera. So you have a lot of different angles that you can go through depending on what you're doing. So if you're pulling into your garage or up to a parking space, that gives you a lot more visibility up front, and then traction control is just next to that. Now with that Z51 package, you can also opt for the front lift, which is not on this particular model. And then looking at the gear selector now, with my foot on the brake, we'll pull this up for reverse. So you get that backup camera. Neutral and park are going to be pushed on, and then drive is also going to be pulled up. Manual setting is just behind that, so that allows you to use these paddle shifters. And then once we put it back into park, now we can take a look at the different driving modes. So just by twisting on this, we have Tour, Sport, and My Mode. So you can actually configure this. There's weather mode too, just depending on how you're driving for the day. So we have a pretty cool leather covering for that. Now there's two cup holders in the middle, and you can close those as needed. And then we have the famous stalk of controls running down this passenger side. Once you get used to it, it's not all that bad. We have driver controls up top for your heated and ventilated seats, climates in the middle, and then passenger controls for heated and ventilated seats down below, along with temperature and temperature for driver. So it's a lot, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to go through. If we open up the center armrest, there's a lot of space with some auxiliaries. Wireless charging is in between both of the seats. There's also 70 up on that trim piece there. Over on the passenger side, let's push on that button, and that gives you a lot of space in the glove box there. And then this also has the digital rear view mirror. So that is your visibility. You can see that wing, you can see above it and below it, so it doesn't really hinder that view. But you can also pull up this angle where you can barely see the top of that spoiler, and that gives you a little bit more visibility. There's some OnStar controls up top as well as your hazards. But even without that, honestly, for a mid-engine vehicle, it's what you would expect. You have that massive pillar there, but you can see out of that window. You have your side mirrors, which is going to help you as well. Pillar over this side, of course, but once you get used to it and where you need to look, it's not all that bad. Now, last up, before we get this out on the road, this is also considered a convertible. It is manual though, so you do have to pull on those two. You have to release the one in the middle by pushing on the front and then pulling that off. Once you do that, you can actually remove the entire top and then fit it in the back. As long as you have no items in the back, you can bring the top with you and have it off of the vehicle. Well, let's go ahead now and get this out on the road. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Chevrolet Corvette C8. Again, if you are new to our channel, I almost had a C8 in my possession. I had one on order, and even though I did cancel it, I feel like I've actually owned a C8. I've been in a lot of them. We had one for a week that we were able to basically daily drive for 7 days to really experience what this car is like. We even took it to the mountains. So if you want to check out that video doing some performance driving with the C8, check out that video, because this is a fun car. This is truly an incredible supercar for the money, because you can spend well under 6 figures and get performance that you would get in cars that cost a lot more. The fact that we have the Targa top that can come off just adds to that excitement as well. You can get the convertible. I do wish that Chevrolet kept a manual transmission option. They've been doing the manual in the Corvette for over 40 years, maybe even longer than that. So it is weird that it went away from the manual and we only have the 8-speed, but it's a dual clutch and it's very responsive and fun to use. But this is a sweet car. If you're looking for something that you want to daily drive, the Corvette is a great option. A lot of people daily drive their Corvettes. A lot of people baby them, I would assume, but a lot of people daily drive them. I was going to buy this to be a daily driver because it's comfortable. It's got a lot of technology in it. You have tons of space as well, which is great for this being a 2-seater vehicle. It just adds to that practicality. We also have some tight turning too. But with that out of the way, let's put it in the Z mode. We have it with the manual setting for the paddles. Let's give it an acceleration. And just a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. It's not crazy loud, even with that performance exhaust. It's very comfortable, it's smooth to drive. The performance is great. It's quick too when you really get on it, which we did in the mountains in our press vehicle. And it's a cool exotic vehicle in the right angles, the right color car too. Sometimes this looks like a Ferrari or a baby McLaren. It's pretty cool to get that from a Chevrolet. So if you're looking for an exotic vehicle, you want something brand new too. You can get some of those other brands, some of those other exotics. My R8 is roughly the same price as this. Much older, of course, but if you want something brand new for the money, honestly, this is a great option to go with. You get the supercar performance in a Corvette body. And from second gear, here we go. And it's really quick with those shifts, as you would expect from a DCT. Now this also has launch control, which we did test in the press vehicle that we had. And this even has the ability to rev while moving. So pull on both paddles, that's neutral. And you can rev it, let go of both paddles, and now we're back in gear, which is really cool to see. So that way you can rev it up at car shows, whatever it may be, and not have to put it in neutral and mess with that. But now that we're behind the wheel of this mid $70,000 non-exotic supercar, this is a nice place to be. You have plenty of visibility out of the front. You do have good visibility out of the back too. This is a huge plus, having the digital rear view camera. The C8's been around for 4 years now, and we are finally seeing them on dealership lots. So they're getting a little bit more attainable now that there's not a huge wait list for them. That's why I canceled mine after a 1.5 years of waiting. I just wanted to move on to something else. But if you're looking for one, you can actually test drive one now, get it on the road, see what you think of it, and actually pick a few different options with what's available. Now there's also a lot of options that you can get speccing one out with a 1LT, 2LT, 3LT. Now we have the Z06, and you have so many different options within those price ranges there. So just depending on what you want, what interior you want, you can go with 2 tones as well for your interiors. You can get different seats. There's a lot that you can go through to really customize this supercar the way that you would like to. And with one last acceleration, that is going to end it for today's video, checking out the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette C8. Once again, a huge shout out to Randy Marion Chevrolet for providing this for me today. Check out their website. That link is down in the description. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.